Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very welcome to the 12 Bong Show in association with Katika. That is Katika Foods and Giftware, and they're in Belvedere here in Mullingar. And we're delighted that you have taken time to join us here on the show today. And we'd like to thank Saoirse Murray for introducing the show. Fair play to you, Saoirse. And I believe her brother now wants to introduce the show, so we better organise a day that we can do that. We were speaking to them last week at the Mullingar in the Market Square. So once again, you're all very welcome to the 12 Bong Show. So we better do 12 bongs. Bong, 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 bong. And I have Johan, he's going to do a few bongs. Give you four bongs, please, Johan.
Bong, bong, bong. Bong.
Thank you, Johan. And Michael is there somewhere. Michael, can I have 4 bongs, please?
Of course you can.
Give us 4 bongs.
Good bongs, Johan. Bong.
Brilliant.
Bong. Bong. Bong.
Absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Michael is our special guest in a few minutes, but before that we're going to do our part of the show. As I said, Saoirse introduced the show, so once again, Saoirse, thank you very, very much indeed. Now, we've done the 12 bongs. What else have we got? Well, once again, we'd like to thank our absolute fantastic friend Carmen Kennedy, who's in London, and she sent us this magnificent card to celebrate 500 days on the bus sessions. Well, this is a different show. This is called the 12 bongs, but I think this show might be going as long as the 12 or the bus sessions. Once again, Carmen, thank you very much, and thank you very much for your present. Very much indeed. We will celebrate later on. Now, Mary O'Reilly is in Mullingar, and it's your birthday, Mary, so happy birthday to you. And Thomas Conroy, it's your birthday, so happy birthday to you, Thomas. And who else do we have? We have Sandra Tracy, who is in Navan. So a big shout out to you, Sandra Tracy, on your birthday. Haven't seen you in a long time, but looking forward to seeing you at our shows coming up fairly soon. We have Miriam Murphy in Arklow. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miriam. Happy birthday to you. And we have Kevin Nee. Indeed, Kevin Nee, who is in Castlepollard. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. And Helen Edwards, who is in Dublin, wishing you a big happy birthday. And Steve Carmichael in Mullingar, big shout out to you, sir, on your birthday. And Pat Keena, who's in Mullingar, happy birthday to you. And Carmel Tierney, big shout out to you on your birthday. Don't forget, folks, if you would like to join us on board the bus to tell your story or promote your business, PM us here on this channel. And as well as that, we have some information for you, ladies and gentlemen. The Fla Fest is on in Sligo. It started on Sunday and it's going to finish on Monday. I think that's unusual that doesn't end on a Sunday. But anyway, a big shout out to all our friends at the Fla. And you never know, we might get up to see some people up there. And if you can't go, just go to flafest.ie, and they are online. So a lot of stuff is going to be online, and I think you can go to the shows. Yes, definitely you can go to the shows. Red One, hello to you. I hope you're keeping well. And we have Green Air, ladies and gentlemen. As well as that, we're doing a lot of work with Green Air, promoting their products. And don't forget that they have the best e-bikes in the country, and they're called electric bikes, not e-bikes. Well, electric bikes as well. And all our good friends are there. Alan is up there, and Ken is up there, and Kieran is up there, and Derek. That's right, the 4 lads are there, so you won't be lost when you go in and have a look. There's a massive range of bikes. It goes on and on and on. A bike for everyone. Right, continuing on, our food shout out competition winner today is Dominic's Restaurant on Dominic Street in Mullingar, and our Facebook recommendation page is mullingar.ie. And as well as that, shop local pick of the day is cashbeauty.com. Yes, indeed, they had a big promotion in Mullingar not too long ago, and we're talking to Cass herself, and it's a Mullingar business, so we're supporting what's good and great about the Mullingar businesses. Newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, the stables live at the showgrounds in Mullingar. That's the Cullion Showgrounds on the 28th. Mullingar's finest is going to be there, including Scally and Flynn and Paulie Martin, who was actually a guest here on the show, and Lisa Canny. Canny, that's right. And Asland, yes indeed. How can I protect you? Christy and all the gang are going to be in Mullingar on the 28th. So you can buy a pod of pictures. No, a pod of, you'll be in pods. And tickets are €49.95 or 50 quid, sure, to round it up. Do you know they do in the shop? So it's 99 pence and they take the pound off you. Right, so that's a thing to check out, folks. You can get your tickets for that. Our Gingerbread Cafe, big event on Sunday, yes indeed. We're talking to Kira there, and she sent, we spoke on a Zoom call the whole way from Westport, and she's coming to Mullingar, and she has a great vision of making everyone in the country unhomeless or homeless, people who are homeless with a home. Yes, to get everyone living in their house once again. And this is sort of a huge project that she's taken on. She's a lot of people coming down, a lot of speakers going to be on the day, and the project, as I say, is to stop homelessness. So that means you can get a house, or we got to all live in a house. We should be all living in houses. So hopefully you can make it, and that's where it's going to be. It's going to be in the Gingerbread Cafe on Sunday at 12 o'clock. At 12, bongs. And don't forget our good friend Ken Smullen. Yes, indeed. Ken Smullen is doing the food appeal, and a lot of children are going hungry in the Midlands. Would you believe that? First world country again. Homelessness, children going hungry. What does that sound like? But Ken Smullen is doing his bit, so if you want to do something and get some dry food, you can drop it down to Noreen Murphy, or Noreen Murphy's husband, Anthony, if he lets you in the door, and check her out on Facebook there. You can drop some dry food down there, and Ken will collect the dry food, and you can go to Deals in Mullingar, and they have an area that you can drop the food in after buying some for someone who needs it. So it's unbelievable that this is happening in our country, but it is in our county, never mind our country. Jer's Pyroworks, yes, the man that made this sign. If the camera's the wrong way, if I go that way, no, it's that way, that's where the sign is. And he's following with the camera as well. Okay, so that's the sign that's made by Jer's Pyroworks and Crafts in Mullingar. There's a huge massive sale going on, and if it's not in the sale, he can make it for you. So check out Jer's Pyroworks and Crafts. That's our Facebook page. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, your chance to win Multifarnham GAA Lotto. There's €9,500 in the lotto, ladies and gentlemen. And last night we got word from the Downs GAA that the money was not collected last night. The lotto has grown another bit, and it's €7,900 that you can collect next Monday at the Downs GAA Lotto. Go online, no matter where you are in the world, you can win this money. It's just you got to pick the numbers. Right, the Lucky Dip was very, very popular, and 3 people won the Lucky Dip. No, it's still with us. Josie Costello, Jodie Daly won some money online as well, and Mary Nolan. So congratulations to you guys. And yes, once again, thank you very, very much indeed. I'm just going to turn my camera around here this way, and Johannes Johan around that. Now, Johan, if you come this way, and Michael's going to come on board. Michael is a vet from Mullingar, in Mullingar, but then he headed to Longford, so he's a vet from Mullingar living in Longford. Michael, how's it going?
Good, Ray. Great to be with you. Thanks for the invite.
I'm delighted. Michael, we've known each other for many, many years. We were neighbours, weren't we? Let me see. Yes, it was back on. Sometimes Facebook sort of brings us on a sort of a mission. Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself. You, Vincent Cooney was the man who started you in the business. How did that all happen?
Good, Ray. Well, look, it's a long story, but we'll find the critical bits along the way. I'll jump right in where you started. We were neighbours. In fact, we were neighbours twice. You and I spent a lot of time in Donnelly Street. That's where I grew up. So
right.
Great parents. We went to school. I think I was about 4 years ahead of you from a little bit calculation I did. But I suppose we'll pick up on that in a minute. But I had great classmates, from Mullingar, in Mullingar. Great I suppose really I was reared by the village is what I'd say. You know, we
Right.
hear with Kelly Harrington this morning, she's been reared by her village, but I was, and I was privileged, you know, and we're...
Because
well,
Mullingar at that time was very, very small.
You're absolutely right.
One chipper.
Yeah, that's right, Malaccas. But yeah, and it changed gradually, and we sort of changed with it. But getting back to how it happened, I suppose the village was rearing me. Look, and I give the credit to Mick McCoy, and we give a shout out to
Really?
Mick too. Yeah.
I seen him on his bike the other day. He's got an
Yeah.
electric bike, is he?
Absolutely terrific, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's a whole lot of other people linked in with him in the school at St Mary's when you and I went to school.
Yeah.
And, so the key to it was, with all of the background and all of my interests, all that I liked, that I can tell you more about. Anyway, the key question came from Mick one day: what do you want to do?
Right.
Now, it would have been about, I suppose, fourth year. So I went home to my mother, we sat at the fire, she was probably watching Dallas or something. I said, I have to ask this question tomorrow. So she said, well, what do you like? And it was a throwback to the way I was raised. I liked being in my wellies, Ray. And,
Right.
and I liked school and liked science.
Yeah.
And then we sort of scratched our heads a bit, and she said, well, what had combined those? So I said, maybe veterinary. She said, why don't you go in and tell them that's what you'd like to do? So,
Yeah.
So when I went and told Mick, and I suppose it really took off from there again. It's I suppose, you know, it's the lucky breaks, Ray, but it's the people. I suppose it's this one good person, one good adult, apart from your parents, which we're all told by Jigsaw and so on is the key to helping
Yeah.
youngsters. So Mick said, okay, that's what you want. Sure, I'll talk to Mr. Cooney, as we all referred to him at that time.
Yeah.
I'll see what he can do for you. And he was back the next day. He said, Mr. Cooney said, be down at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. So I was 14 years of age, Ray, and basically I sat in beside him in his van. You'll remember all the vehicles.
Yeah.
And,
Come here, did you finish school or did you start
yeah,
sort of part-time?
That's interesting, Ray. Well, look, I suppose I did. I finished school, and I was the youngest in my class. Well, not absolutely youngest. Martin Wallace was younger than me, but apart from that, I was always the youngest in my class. I think I was sent to school at 3. But anyway.
But you finished then when you were 14 or 15
well, I
or?
finished at 16, actually.
Right.
Now that you remind me, which
Yeah.
is relatively young, and I had already 2 years with Finton on the
Right.
Saturdays and the holidays, and
Yeah.
I went about in the van, and so I knew at that stage what I'd like to do. So that's where it started, Ray. That's the start, and look, it was an interesting road from there. Actually, just to burn through the news for you, but I knocked the first hurdle, which you should never do in around the show jumping. I knocked the first hurdle with my attempt to go veterinary, and didn't get into the course. So I
Right.
went off into dentistry for a year.
Go away!
So only for determination, myself and wait till I see Brendan Higgins, yeah, who's downtown. We were in the class together in Dublin, but so anyway, again, that I suppose what to call it nowadays, resilience or determination, or I think we used to call it thickness one time. But
Yeah.
But I kept trying, and the second year I was lucky.
So you done veterinary, where did you do it then?
Now there was the college was in UCD, and it was look at it, there was 60 places for the whole country, which was a big challenge, you know. But needless to say, I was the last one in the door there as well. But anyway, all of this melted into the background details. So
Right.
but in I went, and off we went, and no, that was great. You did say, you know, Finton Cooney, and I suppose Finton was one of those one good adults. Really, I'm coming back to it again. If everyone could have someone like I had, Finton Cooney, you know.
Yeah. He was a legend, like, and he was powerful looking man.
He was,
And he was straightforward, like.
and he had a great deep voice.
Yeah.
He was very decent, and
Yeah.
he was very experienced, and he was very political, and he was a whole lot of things. And I was doing the book, you know, and it was just a great, you know, separate education from anything anyone else could tell you. And look, he was very good to me too. So we took off like a house on fire, really. And
But the thing of what I would say about you is your manner is unbelievable. You're nearly like a doctor as well when you're with the patients, and as well as that, I mean, the way people have come with their animals, and it's like a child now. But I always remember like going into you and like saying, you know, Jesus, a fierce nice man. Do you know what I mean? And like and Finton then was a total different being altogether. Do you know what I mean?
look, I suppose really, Ray, again, you and I, we enjoyed the friendship. We meet in and out, and look, I think we're made out of the same stuff. I think we like people. You entertain them. I try and help their animals to heal. So, but fundamentally we come at it the same way. And I think if you've got that, you just, apart from me being lucky to be working at what I like, and I suppose I just had this opportunity then to be in doing what I liked for people. Fundamentally, look, it was hard at times, Ray.
Oh, jeez,
life,
lash and rain out there, and you dosing cattle in a mucky
you've seen,
with no pen, maybe.
You've seen that too. So you want some other little bit of higher motivation just to deliver. I suppose in fairness to my parents, again, like they brought us up to have manners or be nice, or what was.
But did your family have that foxes out there? Was there a sort of a foxes farm out there as well up by Bernie Newman's? Is that relations of yours?
You're absolutely right. No, that's very interesting. That's where I got the love of the wellies. My father had two
Love of
brothers.
the wellies.
Yeah, my father had two brothers, and I suppose the way things were in that time. And look at his family were out around that territory. I'm going to tell you about it now.
Yeah.
Would you believe? At this stage, there've been 8 or 9 generations out around there, Delvin and Bernie Newmans and Killucan and back into Mullingar. But that's a whole story in itself. But I suppose, you see, again, Ray, the way we were brought up, we were very close to our cousins. I think you'd understand when I'd say, like, going on holidays when we were young meant going to stay with your aunt and your uncle.
Exactly, and I'd done the same thing. I went to Kildare, I went to Rathangan, and I learnt how to make silage and to milk cattle.
Absolutely.
And calves.
As did I,
Yeah.
So that was my Uncle Eddie, and look, we had a great time there. It really did, I suppose, the big link there. I said there was 3 brothers in my father's family. Father Christie, who people knew, Father King out around Cool and so on. His brother Eddie, who bred pedigree bulls. He wasn't Eddie the auctioneer. Now, and it was himself who was the 3rd son. And the way things went, he got the short straw and he had to go into town and mind the shop. The rest of them, had the life he would have liked. He was a countryman at heart. But and I suppose he gave that to me too. So this was my way back to that, in a way, Ray. But
the whole thing with animals and that, I mean, was that a sort of a natural thing to you, like to look after animals, or like?
Yeah. Look, the truth is, I did say it was the wellies and the science. Of course, I like the animals.
Yeah.
I will say, my wife Noelle put me in the shade with regard to pets and having a menagerie and loving the animals. I suppose I liked them the way, I suppose, a doctor would like a child. I like
exactly
looking after them and helping them,
and that's the way you came across.
Them and doing the science and doing the fixes. I suppose I do understand people coming into our job nowadays. They actually they struggle with the whole welfare side of it. Almost the difficulty of the emotional side of it, with the sadness of people and their pets. To struggle to do that service. I suppose, look, Ray, in our time we were a bit more pragmatic. So that's the honest answer to the question. Of course, I liked them and loved them, but it was from that sort of farm, approach. I came actually in time, like I would for yourself and your family. I mean, I suppose I really got to love the dog work, And I suppose if you said eventually, like, where did your heart settle? I mean, there was just such opportunity just to do such great quality work with them, because people did want the same standards as from medicine. They wanted all the tests and all the exact work and all the fixes, even the orthopedics. So I suppose moving on from Finton, Cooney, I suppose maybe a bit like yourself and the band, I imagine, Auburn, like there's brand Auburn now. When people in town say, like, where do you bring your dog? Auburn. It's like,
is that what they call it now? Yeah.
Now, so, but it was just to cut through the story. It was Cooney and
Cooney's.
Cooney and King. We called ourselves.
That's right. Yeah.
Then it got more than the 2 of us. By the way, just to mention, we had Tom Maguire with us. He was a huge part of our team. We were in Jail Hill initially, and then we went to Auburn Road. When we were in Jail Hill, we had Mrs. White, and she was a terrific woman. You remember where we were.
Yeah.
And we had Madeline Shaw with us. We could talk all day about the various people that we had.
That's
in
right.
our
I forgot
lives.
Madeline worked. Yeah.
So, So that was great, and then it broadened, as I say, and maybe like I was saying, like the band, we started inviting people, you know, to come down
the show.
with us to the show, you know, and so great people, and there's a great team there now.
Yeah.
Look at, and as I say, at the risk of starting to leave out people, but I won't. Look at Definity, Declan O'Brien, they're great leaders down there. They've got great vets with them: Caroline Farland, Jenny Algar, and Aisling Kiernan currently. They've got great nurses. This is the standard it's gone to now. It's a hospital now, Ray. This story, it was all, you know, we started to chat with Mick McCoy, you know, taking me seriously, and this is what it has become.
And he gave me actually the same sort of chat as well when I was a kid, and only just thinking back on it and saying, where do you want to be, and you know, and settling in, because when I went to school, it was first year, and I sort of found it hard to settle in, and I was dropping in classes, I was dropping in grades. But music was the thing that sort of saved me, because at that time you ended up being sort of that was your thing, and you played in a band. Oh, what, do you play guitar? No, I play drums. Oh, right, yeah. And it was a great sort of, it was a cult sort of thing as well, so you had a status of some sort, you know, and you learned from that. But it's like Seamus O'Malley, O'Fuelon. And he passed away, but I mean, I just remember when we done a concert in the school, right? And there was Ray Bracken who was in the band. Yes. Do you remember Ray?
I do indeed.
And Adrian and myself, and I was 12 or 13, I was on drums. It was, Jesus, a great lad I thought I was. And we done the Wheels of Steel anyway by Judas Priest. And from then on, I always would meet him as he go, the Wheels of Steel. It was like poetry. And we lashing away through the song.
And just to remind you, Ray, you got far better value from it than I did. I was at music lessons with you. You've long forgotten this, but at Celine Powers, yourself
Go away!
Used to come in.
Yeah, on a Saturday.
I was probably on the way out the door, as you was probably thinking, thank God, I get out to a bit of serious work here now. But
oh no, we were bad.
No, that was terrific. And you know, just remembering, really, I suppose what I'd like to do is just give credit to all these great people. We're only bobbing in and out to an occasional name, but would you believe I was with Sheila McCormack from music lessons before that? Another abject failure for Sheila, but you probably don't remember her. She was at Belvedere Terrace, round the corner from Celine.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then we moved up there. Anyway, look at all of that went on.
But so, just getting back to, so when you left Auburn Road or whatever they call it, you headed for Longford then. So what did you do down there?
Yeah, well, look, I suppose, just to put it in the scheme of things, I did tell you earlier, Noelle came to town in 1989, and I brought her to the Joe Show, and and she stayed, and myself and Noelle have 4 great kids: Rachel, Jennifer, Andrew, and Julie. And,
wow.
Look, I suppose I did say earlier, the veterinary practice, I loved it, I still love it, I love the clinical aspect of it, but you know, the work-life balance is a challenge. It was then, because we didn't have so many people working with us. So anyway, I got the offer, I couldn't refuse. There's a role called County Veterinary Officer in each county, and I got an offer of the job in Longford. So I took it. That's where I went to, Ray, to answer that question. You always ask me, where did you go? But it's funny, like, that was a sort of a snippet in time. In a way, I didn't go anywhere, but it was a sort of, I suppose you would be a bit of the public eye if people say, you know, where the f*** I go, or you'd be doing fine. But that was that. And just to give a short explanation, I suppose the unmentionable, we've all got to understand public health, you know, and the medics are doing it now, and we're all amateur epidemiology and virology and immunology, and medicine is terrific and all that, but that's the aspect of that I moved to. I suppose rather than dealing with the individual animal, we deal with groups and with herds and with flocks and with people, for that matter, and with food outbreaks and so on, and we look at it from all those aspects, and it's a job needs to be done. There's a lot of regulation. It's required by law to be done, Ray, and a person needs to do it. So that's where I went to answer the question. I do live in Mullingar, though. I never moved away. So I suppose, I'm a homebird, I suppose.
Yeah.
So unlike other members of my family who've been all over the place, I like this place, and it suited me. And
well, you'd have the same love of Mullingar as myself, and as I said, we got in contact again because I met you in the lake.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm swimming by going, oh, Jesus, Michael. And, how are you, Ray? Hi, Michael. And I swam on.
We did move it on. You actually taught me how to swim since then. Actually, using how to watch out. Ray showed me out of the water how to swim, which I much appreciate. Yeah, it's a big help.
Well, you can put it into practice. It's literally all about, as I said, the way, as I say, I learned to swim as well is a gentleman. He's an Australian that lives in Mullingar, and he showed me to swim on the streets of Dublin one day. So, I'm sharing this now with the locals and interested parties. But anyway, as I say, if I can put it all into motion, and fair enough, Michael, if you can get it into motion, fair enough. But I was out there again this morning, and I see that you weren't there. There was no sign of you, no car, nothing.
Today is not over yet. No, I had to do a bit of preparation. By the way, you gave me a sleepless night trying to remember good people in my life and classmates and so on, and all the people that, I suppose all the people, in this good news story, I suppose we're in a first world country situation. We're very privileged here, Ray. You said, before the little session, not everything is perfect about it, but I think, if we can do that a little bit, look, we've been fortunate, and if we have enough left over after we service our own sort of responsibilities to be able to be that one good adult for another person coming up along the line, and if I could be the Mick McCoy for somebody who starts showing a bit of interest
Exactly.
in somebody, and just link them in somewhere, and just, I suppose, really in a way that people, they develop their own momentum. It's not as if you have to walk the whole road with them, but if you dip in an odd time and just the chat by times is enough to keep the bus rolling then, So
exactly, yeah. And I think I'd say definitely, because one day I met you on the street, and I was driving up and you were driving down, and traffic's a little bit slow in Mullingar at the moment, and you says to me, "There's a lad asking for you in Longford. He's speaking very well of you." I says, "Oh, great, Michael. Chat to you soon." And we drove on.
what we do.
That is actually, he used to work on the bin lorry actually.
Yeah, terrific. Well, actually, that's a good example. He'd love to get a shout out. No, that's Lee Ryan. I suppose. Look, I suppose my work in my veterinary as well, it brings me into that great other community. Like, we're in loads of communities, right? I'm in that whole greyhound community as well, the greyhound tracks.
And from myself and Michael King here, and Johan, who's he's my right hand man. He's on my shoulder, and I've reminded me right hand man. We're making a documentary with Johan. So, folks, that's another thing that we're up to. So, once again, from us all here on the bus, thanks for being on board, folks, and really appreciate it. And once again, Michael King, thanks very much, and we'll see you tomorrow at the lake, hopefully. So there you are, folks. Good luck to you all. Thanks for looking in. And Michael King, God bless, and Johan. Bye for now.